press. Hello, everyone. This is season number 992, and today we are back with another brand new episode of the Spfl show. Now, as I was just saying, I'm still wearing my Under Armour because I was just taking Rocket Walk literally 5 minutes ago. So yeah, that's what you heard at the start. But anyway, our usual guests are here. Thankfully, he's back because last week was a rough one. Sharpdiv himself. Div, chat, Div.
What's happening, people? The laptop has made a resurgence back to life.
He returns.
And unfortunately, so does Ryan.
I return after a glorious weekend. More silverware. Glorious weekend. More silverware in the Celtic trophy cabinet.
It's almost like you've been listening to the word CJ Nova all weekend. Like dropping the glory.
I'm very a Bobby Roode fan than a CJ Nova fan. So.
I thought that since I'm just back, man, I would introduce a new wee thing to the show. So I thought I would read the league table for you so you didn't know. Troops. First the table, Glasgow Rangers. Second.
Wait, no, Div, who's above us in the league?
Oh, nobody, mate.
That's zero.
Right. Before we get into this deluded patter, which I knew was going to take over the show, and I knew it was going to be in this whole comment section, let's keep in mind.
No, I'm being serious, mate. I'm looking up at this here, mate.
We have a game in hand.
Your game in hand is against Dundee, a formidable opponent. So
Kenny Miller is there.
Who made a cup final?
Agent Miller is there, right?
Who made it past the semi-finals?
Right. He synced Livy, he synced Dundee, and he'll sync Celtic. That's what he does.
We made it. We won the cup. Champions again, as you know. That's what has to be said.
Right, Ryan. Div, continue.
That's it, mate. I can't be bothered reading the rest.
So if I go, who else is anywhere else anyway?
Come on, that's would be nice.
Ryan, how is things anyway, mate? Just to be briefly nice to you.
No bad. Could be better, could be worse, I suppose.
You like to start off Monday just really bad and read the chat, I heard. Is that what you like to do every Monday? Oh, he's crashed.
He's a
great mimic.
He's definitely crashed.
There we go. I crashed for a brief second there. I'm back. Don't worry.
Is that Gogsy cutting your internet?
Exactly. Gogsy's not very happy. But I know, as we were saying before the stream, you know, this is the way you start the week. It starts right at the bottom with this comment section and just gradually it's better. Then
it's my favourite thing on my entire channel is just reading out the nation's comments towards you for 90 minutes every Monday. It's fantastic.
One of my favourites is Andy's. He just literally tells you to shut the fuck up.
Over and over.
I look at the chat, it says, shut up, Ryan. Fuck up, Ryan. So shout out to Andy. Well done.
Every week. I couldn't appreciate it more.
I appreciate that, boys. Right, anyway, let's move on to some football, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have something new towards the end of the show as well, which we will discuss. So if you stay tuned, you'll be able to get involved in that. But before we get anywhere, don't mind hitting that like button. Over 273 already floating in. I know it's going up and up and up, but if you don't mind hitting the like button, show the series the support. That'd be absolutely tremendous. And since you're back this week, Div, where would you like to start, mate?
Why don't we start with Livingston and Motherwell?
Woo! You know that was one of my faves. That was one of my favourites.
I know that I know Gogsy will probably be watching, so get it round you, Gogsy.
Up you. Absolutely.
And it's absolutely astonishing to me how good Livingston are at scoring goals from set pieces. They're scoring them from shies as well now. The first goal came from a long shy. They get the break of play, and Lawless got the goal. Do you remember his goal earlier in the season?
Aye, the frightening goal.
Long Ranger. Aye.
Goal of the week, wasn't it?
Aye, mate. Up there we go of the season, I think. And then our second one was Hockett.
My man.
With a header from a corner. So Livingston back to winning ways. Motherwell, another wee slump after hammering the Sheep.
Yeah, that was there. They were on a 5-win streak, wasn't it? Or 5 undefeated streak for Motherwell. So that was a bit of a surprise seeing them get beat so badly. And they were beat badly, let's be fair. Livingston just took them to the cleaners. And like we were saying about the long shies, do you remember Stoke years and years ago? When I was talking about Rory. That's what it's like.
I was talking about Rory today, mate. That's fucking weird.
That is weird, man. But that's exactly what they're like. They're very aggressive. They're physical. They play for set pieces, and then they flood the box, and they all came what they're doing exactly for them. They're absolutely they're just brilliant. And again, we need to speak about someone as well, and that is going to be Liam Kelly. Did you see his couple of saves they made?
I was going to say the exact same thing.
I've got it written down again, making some great saves in this match. When is he getting his Scotland call up? That's what I want to know.
He needs to be in the squad for the next one. Needs to be.
It's not going to happen, though, is it? Let's be honest.
No, he needs a move before he'll get it. He'll never get it at Livingston.
See, where do you think he'll move on next season? Do you think he'll get a move to a bigger team? Because I think he'd be great addition to any side. Like, honestly.
Yeah, well, the only thing with Livingston, and we keep seeing, is they are a very, very small team and they're exceeding expectations. We're not talking, like, see if you go to the Championship, you could go probably through every team in the Championship and they've got a bigger fan base, a bigger support, if you like, a bigger club than Livingston. So Livingston are absolutely exceeding all expectations. I think most clubs in the SPFL can take Kelly away from Livingston due to wages and that sort of stuff. So we might see him move to somebody else. Hibs, maybe? Would you like that, Ryan?
Well, I mean, they could use him.
That's his number one team. He's just living a lie.
Aye.
Right, so on the flip side of that, you've obviously got Motherwell losing their first game for 5 games and they were absolutely turned over. I know Kelly made a couple of good saves, but that's a massive result for Livingston to actually bounce back. And Motherwell, just when they started getting a bit of confidence, just get slapped in, which is always appreciated because I just like Gogsy's videos whenever they lose. It's fantastic. Ryan, anything else you want to say about the game?
My main point was going to be about Kelly. That's been taken. But I mean, I know. Thanks for jumping in and taking that because I'm really struggling. It's a game that obviously I didn't pay too much attention to. But
at least you watched some of it.
I've seen the highlights and such. I've seen the highlights. I know Gogsy for a Motherwell fan probably even struggled to see it.
I
know it's. I mean, Livingston back into the top half of the table, I suppose. I mean, it's big for them. And the question is, there's a second half to go. Can they consistently play to that level and try and get into the top half of the split this time next whatever?
That would be some achievement for Livy. That would be massive. They get in the top 6, man. That would be mad.
Aye. So
there's one other thing I want to talk about, and I put up my notes is when I was watching like the highlights and everything back for the Livingston game, all the comment section on the SPFL YouTube channel is all about their attendance. Did you see that? Like everyone's complaining about it. There's barely anybody there, and they're actually playing tremendously well. So that's a bit of a shame because 95% of the stadium's empty.
It's not really their fault. It goes back to fan base, and hopefully for them, with them playing so well, that will next season there'll be more.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to. I wanted to ask as well, because if you're a Livingston fan, is it something that we didn't ken? Is it the ticket prices are too high? What's actually happening? Because there's literally nobody there.
One thing you've got to remember is Livingston, the club was founded in 1996, something like that. So very late on, and the town is slap bang in the middle, basically, of Glasgow and Edinburgh. So a lot of the town are going to support Hearts, Hibs, Rangers, and Celtic, and if children and such are being born into families that support these teams, then it's not really creating much of a fan base for Livingston. So for being such a new club and being that location like that, I think that's probably the main reason I'd say. Anyway, that's what I always think whenever I think of Livingston.
The only thing I would say, sorry, on you go, Div.
Oh, I was just going to say probably a good thing that Livingston could maybe try and implement to get more young fans is just giving away free tickets to schools and doing that sort of stuff, or just doing under 16s go free, because it seems to be every single game, if it's not against Rangers or Celtic, that take the free stands. Good stadium, by the way. We've got to give them that. Good stadium compared to a lot of clubs.
To be honest, it looks better. I went for the first time this season and I was not really impressed actually being there. But it looks decent though. It does look decent.
Yeah, it does. But if you look at a lot of other grounds, football, a lot of them don't even have 4 stands. So that in itself, that in itself, Falkirk Stadium's no bad, by the way, man.
What I want to say about Livingston as well, I remember going with my dad every season when they were on the top flight. I remember Marvin Andrews not playing. The support was brilliant. I remember a couple of the games and the support was always bouncing. I remember going. It just seems to be a clear it's just going. It's getting worse and worse, and the performances certainly deserve it. So that's why I wanted to mention it in that as well. My throat nearly went there. That was fair. But moving on to the next game, Ryan, 118. Where would you like to go, son?
Oh, well, where should I take it? So I'm just going. Let's just go. League Cup final. Let's get it away and then we can get back on the SPFL. Why not?
It's got the SPFL show, not the League Cup final show. You know.
But we've still got to talk about the.
Is it the League Cup final show, Ryan?
Yes. We're going to talk about the biggest team in Scotland and the first domestic trophy being gifted once again to them yesterday. As Brendan has made it.
Hibs and Rangers in a final.
Funny. Can I just ask a quick reminder? Since the turn of the 2016-17 season, 7 domestic competitions, CJ.
Aye.
How many is Brendan?
See, it's always me. That's just what you were talking about off stream. It's always me that gets it.
How much is Brendan won at a 7? Sorry, just remind me.
I did watch.
I think we all know, mate. But there was one glaring mistake that you made in your comments there, and that was describing. I don't know if you were describing obviously Aberdeen or Celtic in this one, but you called them the biggest club in Scotland. Shite, mate. Check the history books.
We are the biggest club in Scotland.
Sadly,
that title can't go to a 5-year-old club. Sorry.
I'm just laughing because I'm just thinking what the chats are actually going to say to him right now is just
I'm waiting for that.
I can't wait. But anyway, no, the game itself, it was pretty shit.
It was awful.
To be honest, it was a horrid game to sit through and watch.
Ryan, need to ask a question. Game on the 29th of December. What's that rivalry called?
It's called the Old Firm. It's called the Old Firm. As many people.
When was the first Old Firm game?
What, 18 and fucking something, I don't know. 18.
So how come you still call it the Old Firm? The first game was more than 5 years ago, but Rangers are apparently in the same club.
Remember, it's our worst start in 29 years now. Before you go any further, I actually don't. I just use that to wind you up. I don't care about the whole stuff like that. I could not care. No, but the game was terrible yesterday. But we won it. That's what matters. Told you he'd score. I told you last week Christie would score against them. I knew it.
He's been tremendous run of form. Very annoying.
Right before half time, decent time to score. After Mackay-Steven looked to be in a horrid state, I thought that was just going to kill off the half, and we wouldn't get anything at all for it. But we went up, scored right before half time, and we just seen at the game. It would have been better if we took and made more chat. Like, I mean, one thing that I want to pick up for Livingston is the fact that they can score for set pieces. Celtic can't. It's been this whole season has been horrible to watch Celtic's corners or free kicks and everything because we just can't do it. So if that's one thing I could take off, obviously, it'd be that. But I know, a boring game, but another trophy for Celtic, the first step of the treble, hopefully. So I can't complain.
Full disclosure, I was actually busy editing my Rangers video, so I never saw the entire first half. I clicked it on for obviously the hanging for this show, and I watched a couple of minutes and I turned it instantly back off because I watched the penalty. See, when he's got the penalty, I never even saw he score it. I turned it on, right? I see the guy getting a handball decision outside the box. I was like, seen enough, turn it back off, went back to it. I never even knew they missed it until later on. So, did Aberdeen step up? Did they turn up to a final, or was it just a shit game that Celtic could have just destroyed if they wanted to?
I don't know. To be honest, Aberdeen got. We never scored a bloody own goal and hit the bar for them. So there was a chance. There was a chance that they could have got a goal. They had a couple of chances that
played all right.
Get a goal. It's one of the ones that maybe if we never got that goal, and maybe Aberdeen just a bit more luck on their side, they could have took the win because we weren't. It was a wide game.
See when Mackay-Steven get injured. I was like, so I watched the Fury fight, right? And I was buzzing at my nuts. I ended up not going to sleep, right?
Buzzing on his nut on normal medication, not.
Yeah, I was absolutely buzzing. So I was like, I need to watch the Rangers game. So I stayed up through it, right? And then it got to the Celtic game and I'm falling asleep during the first half.
No wonder.
Just falling asleep. But see when Mackay-Steven get injured, actually, shout out to him. Everybody gives him a bit of stick in that because it's funny. But shout out to him. Mackay-Steven, because he got absolute laid flat out in the ground. Like, he was knocked the fuck out. But see, as soon as he got injured, I just thought there's no chance that Aberdeen are going to score. And I think for all their decent play against Celtic, it still was falling to guys like Cosgrove.
No.
He's a centre half or something, that guy. Honestly. He's very poor.
He's a hammer thrower.
He is. He should go to Motherwell.
That's exactly where I was. Well done. Like connection.
What
so
about
there's no other chances around for Aberdeen? Was it another final that never turned up?
Well,
it's hard to
done all right.
Both teams just won the great. In all honesty, so it was
a bit like the semis, CJ. Apart from they get the goal, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
And they didn't concede, obviously.
Just a really boring game. It didn't hit. Aberdeen were quite dirty in a sense, which is
not dirty enough. Some reason.
The referee's performance was absolutely ridiculous.
That's he's a usual character.
Shout out to his performance in the under-21s today, but scored the hat-trick, CJ.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
But no, I don't know.
They can be got somebody called Dallas in your youth.
Yeah.
Was somebody going to say something about Brown? Did I hear Brown get mentioned? I don't know.
I was just going to ask you. Obviously, Brown never started the game. They chose the same kind of three that's been playing and stuff. Thought Rogic was very poor yesterday, so was Edward, in my opinion. But anyway, never played Brown. Is that something that's going to continue going forward?
It's passion.
You're funny. I don't know. As I've discussed it on my channel, I think
plugging your own videos, you wanker, yeah.
Go and watch it titled Scott Brown. No, I think Brendan Rodgers and Scott Brown have got a very, very good relationship. I think Brown will come back into the team, whether or not it's for a long time or no, whether it's just this season and then he says, right, look, the next couple of years you're going to be rotating around. The guy's still going to be the captain of Celtic. I think he will eventually get. I know it's a risk dropping somebody like he's not going to drop Christie. But, you know, Rogic maybe rotates along with the other two.
I think it'll be Rogic. Watching yesterday's game, it's got to be Rogic.
Rogic, when he plays his best, is probably maybe the best player in Scotland when he plays his best.
He's definitely top three.
So rare to get him at his best on a consistent basis. You know, you can't do it. CJ, I love your comments, mate. Class. I love your comments. No, I think Brown will come back into the team to sum it up because fucking CJ hates me talking.
You know, so see when we were talking off, she said you always read the comments. I was like, you'll fucking love this. This will throw him off. No, but I just want to ask you one last thing before we move on about the thing. Do you think it was a penalty? Because, like I said, that's like the main thing. I watched it, and then I turned it off as soon as they got. I was like, same old.
I've not seen the highlight yet, but at the time,
you're copping out. You're doing the manager.
No. I'm gonna get. I've not seen the highlight yet, but my initial reaction was surprised, and then when I checked my phone, I just seen all my pals who are Celtic fans as well saying never a penalty. It justified that we've missed, so I'm going to assume it wasn't a penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I just wasn't a penalty. No way.
I was surprised at first. I was surprised.
It was outside the box for one, and then probably two. I don't think his hand was in an unnatural position.
It was Donny Ball, wasn't it? The boy used to play for us.
It was Ball. Aye.
He was fucking a bit of a cycle. But anyway, that was it. So Celtic got their first trophy so far this season that's been available. So fair play if you want to say that. But I don't know. Aberdeen again didn't turn up to a final. Well done. Thanks for taking a spot up and down the hunt. Appreciate that. Always.
I mean, you would have done the exact same thing. Let's be
honest. Please. All right. We have just started 11 Moreloses and just won the game.
What's happened?
The best striker in Scotland. Don't worry, we'll get there. I've got a lot of notes, Ryan. I'm going to hit you with facts. Also, I just want to shout out Scott Young. He chips $4.99 into the chat. He says, "Hey guys, class streamers per usual. CJ, check your DMs on Twitter." Okay, I'll do that later, buddy.
He's sliding right in there, man.
He's fucking right in there, using the chat section to just get my attention. I like it, Scott. Thinking above. Think, kid, son. Right, let's move on to the next game then. It's someone else I want to talk about because they got absolutely pumped this week, and this always just cheers me up because I'll get to watch Ryan's his happiness just die off, and it's going to be Kelly 3, Hibs 0. Brilliant, fantastic. Dev, fair play, mate. Perfect prediction last week, and he's doing the Wolf. Oh, he's doing the Wolf.
I think that's the first perfect prediction in the fucking series.
No, I think you did. I know you were off stream, but you put it in the chat. I read it out.
I said 3-0 to Kelly. It was more just to annoy Ryan. But I did think that they would beat Hibs. Hibs are going through a crazy time right now. Don't think Neil Lennon's next two games, I think, are Hamilton and no Dundee, Hamilton and a team that are close to the bottom of the league. If he doesn't get a win in their games, I think he'll be away. I don't know if he'll be sacked. In fact, I don't think he'll be sacked, but I think he'll resign. I really do. They're just struggling. It's wonderful to see, isn't it? Especially when we've got them twice in December. So if they're still going through this tough period, maybe managerless, then they're there for the taking.
I want them to be there. I don't want them to be managers. So let's focus on. So as we've said in the channel a couple of times, the Wolf returned to the squad because obviously Killer hit that little blip. He was injured. He was out. He's back in and he's back with 2 goals. The man's he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. I continue to talk about him each and every single week, and he turns up. I know one of them was a penalty, but as I always argue in the show, they're very hard to score, so shut up. And the other goal was a nice move for Kilmarnock. And to be honest with you, it was kind of the Kelly show. Hibs, like they have in the previous weeks, had a couple of chances that just didn't take them, and they just look like a defeated side that's just gave up. They look like they're down tools, and they've done with the manager.
Did you hear Neil Lennon's comments after the game? He sounds finished. He's
still finished
because it's a long way after that. But no, I was saying like he's basically saying that Hibs have hit a glass ceiling and improving the squad in pre-season was impossible. And
he always does that.
Blah, blah, blah. He's basically frustrated with everything. He doesn't think Hibs are going to improve. He thinks he's peaked with them pretty much. That's pretty much what he was saying.
They're not like 9th in the league. If that's them peak, they're fucked.
Well, he means that last season's kind of finish, right now they're 8th. So I mean that certainly is not their peak. But I mean he's got a point in saying that there was no way he could improve the team, but it's shocking how bad they actually have been. And God knows, I don't know if it's just all spawning for Neil Lennon after that week. He came out and says, I might even just leave Scottish football and such. I don't know if the team.
Can you imagine being a football player trying your hardest, working hard, training hard, and your manager comes and says, I might just leave. He's like, well, fuck you then. Away you go. We'll get someone that really wants to be here.
Difficult. I'm surprised. I thought Neil Lennon was going to get the Ireland job, in all honesty. I did think he would get it.
For the Scotland job?
No, but I said no, but like when Ireland sacked Martin O'Neill, I didn't expect him to go for Mick.
That was a good one. It was a good day.
Was that a good day?
Had the lowest win ratio at any recent Irish match. I'd done the worst. Yeah, must be shame. Shame.
Martin O'Neill.
So let's talk about Kelly a wee bit though. Obviously we talked about Boyd going out, Bromby coming in, or the Wolfman. What do I call him? Bromby. What do I call him? Is it Bromby? No, it's Bromby.
You say something. What's that again?
Don't even Brophy.
That was fantastic. I can't remember what I said, but I got slaughtered for about 8 weeks, and I appreciated it.
Probably Brophy or something.
Brophy. Bovril. I can't even remember where I was going with that now. I'm just so distracted thinking about a name.
Just talking about Kelly. I think you were just going to say something about Brophy coming back in, weren't you?
That's right. So he comes back into the squad, turns to 3 points. He's going to be probably behind Morelos, the most informed striker just now. I know he's 1 goal behind Edouard. He's got 1 assist, but you look at his actual games per minute, it's absolutely tremendous because he's not starting a lot of games. He's doing great, and obviously the double moves him up in the league as well. So yeah, shout out to him. And then on the other side of things, we've got Cambiri. Everyone was talking about it was going to be a potential top goal scorer in the league. The goals just continue to drop, just can't seem to score, can't seem to kick his own arse. And they're creating chances, like I said, but when you're playing F.A. Ambrose in like middle of the park, you've got problems, and I see him getting sacked. That's going to be my fault. I see him when him get sacked before Christmas.
That would be even more of a statement if he gets sacked. I think he'll resign. I think he'll resign, but I think see how September goes. If he can get 6 points for 6 in the next couple.
Well, September's already been gone.
December. That's it. I'm away. Fuck this.
Fucking brilliant, man. Excellent.
Wake me up when September ends, Ryan. Honestly, sick of this. Half-arsed.
I don't know why I said September.
It was the fact that you also took a second, you went, I fucked this, but you thought they've not got to carry on.
I feel like the comment section right now because I always like see if I say a word wrong or something in a video, be like, you said he wrong or something. I'm like, fuck up.
I know. I love Andy Baker's just in with yes, fuck off, Ryan.
That's the first thing I just seen there as well.
Fantastic.
Oh, brilliant.
So let's see in the chat, do you think he will be sacked or leave, or do you think he'll stay on and do a sort of decent job? Let's see that. I'll read out a couple of them in a couple of minutes. John Chris says Ambrose is a bomb scare. Yes, he is. David Frew says wake me up when September ends. Fantastic song. One of Ryan's favourites. Fraser J says Hibs would be daft to sack Lennon, but he'll walk.
I do think, just to add on to that, I do think it would be a daft decision to sack him unless things just consistently go worse.
He's close to the dressing room. There's nothing you can do.
I suppose. But at the same time, how many more managers realistically can Hibs get that are going to be better than Neil Lennon?
Well,
I know
what, the 8th?
I know they're 8th now, but I feel like he can still turn it around. I have faith in him. I don't know if that's me just being
going to finish second behind Rangers.
No, that form maybe I fucked that one up, right? But maybe I fucked that one up. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's no many managers unless they go for a wee gamble.
You'd probably be surprised. You'd probably be surprised.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I think what they should do is instead of remember last time they got rid of somebody, I can't remember who it was, can't remember his name, Spfl guy. No, this was back in 2015. Pat Fenlon, that was it. We got rid of Pat Fenlon. And they brought in somebody with kind of more of an established name in Terry Butcher. It got them relegated. Like
Agent Butcher. He's a good lad.
So like I think if they want to get rid of Lennon, they should go for maybe a kind of Gerrard move. Go with somebody like that. Maybe
I think he's busy, to be fair.
You go for Sol Campbell. Yeah, him.
I get Big Sol.
Big Sol.
Get Thierry Henry. He's going to be at a job in a couple of days. He's going to get a bunny. Never know.
From Monaco to Leaf. What a move.
All right, let's move on to the next game then, and let's talk about. Actually, sorry, it's not even me to pick, Div. I'll let you pick, son.
Oh, you know who I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Hamilton 3. Who were they playing? St Mirren. St Mirren 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Dougie Imrie stepped up and he dominated this game. Let's be honest. Let us be honest. See his finish for his first goal. Flawless. Absolutely flawless. From there on out, he just dominated the game. Did our Dougie. And as I always says, he had his Vita bits. Boom.
I've been hearing this since he scored. Like every minute, every hour, I've been reminded about Dougie Imrie. Dougie.
Can't help it, he's my uncle, man.
So what was the score, Div? What did it finish? Who stepped up to you? I take it Dougie was the man, was he?
Mate, there was 2 players in this game, if I'm quite honest.
Dougie and Imrie.
Dougie and Hodgson, honestly. Hodgson done all right for St Mirren. But Dougie he outclassed him like he does most times. But the highlights are never nice to him, as I was telling you off stream as well. But we'll not get into that. You know what I mean?
You're very angry about the highlight package for not showing enough Dougie Imrie. Can I just confirm? You're actually really annoyed with this.
There's a lot of forward runs and passes and stuff like that Dougie does.
Can Dougie run? Can he run?
Well, he can run. Aye, just not very fast. But he's a good boy. Good guy.
That's it.
Aye. So Dougie done excellent. And then obviously he made the third goal as well for Hamilton. Keatings, I think, was the one that finished it off long range, but
that was all
Dougie. It was all Dougie to be fair though. So
the whole thing was just Dougie. It was full of Dougie.
Full of Dougie.
Just pure Dougie, mate.
See the St Mirren. I know they were kind of quite right out played and everything. That they did have a couple of chances. To be fair, it was a very back and forth game. And see the volley they almost scored in the last like about the last 50 minutes. That was like Zidane at Hampden, like the way the guy just volleyed it. I kind of rattled the bar, but if that went in, that'd have been a bit of a fucking Dougie Imrie. You know what I mean? That'd have been nice. Dougie would have been proud of that, Div.
Aye, mate, he would have.
Look how happy you are.
I know this is. I don't think it's even when we're talking about Rangers beating Hearts. I don't think you'll be as happy as what you are right now.
No, mate, probably no.
No, he's just so happy. Look at him.
Aye.
Oh.
Because I expect it. Know what I mean? And I expect it for Dougie and I expect it for Rangers, but nobody else ever gives him the credit that he deserves. He's been in this league for 28 years now, or something like that. And he's obviously showed everybody what he's all about with that header. If you've not seen it, go and see it and comment sharpdiv sent you.
Jamie once says Dougie Imrie shags 10 birds a night.
Some argue 11.
Some argue 11. Brilliant. So that was it. That's the breakdown of that game. I don't think we need to go any further than that. St Mirren kind of build off last week's sort of result when they scored the goal of the season from Hamill. I've completely threw off. Let's just talk about the famous.
Goal of the season or his goal of the season, Dougie Imrie?
Oh, Steph.
We'll see what he can do the rest of the season. He might be in competition with Sale.
Could be. Ryan, what's the last remainder game? What do we talk about next?
Oh, come on, there's only about fucking 500 people waiting.
Right, well, I suppose we may as well get on to the predictions.
Who do you want to talk about next?
I think it's the predictions for next week, is it no?
No, we've got one more game. What is it?
Got Tynecastle.
Who was at Tynecastle? Was that the battle at the top of the league?
No, actually, because I think you'll find the team who were top of the league before that game.
You didn't count games in hand. Trust me, we've all been there. You didn't always win them. They're no guaranteed points, especially when Kenny's there. Who's the teams that was playing for top of the league?
Come on.
Spit out, Sonny.
Hearts versus them. You.
The Rangers.
Rangers.
Right, break down the game for me, Ryan. This is brilliant.
Hearts versus Rangers. Hearts versus. It's fucking Hearts versus Rangers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why you're so. As if like forbidden word there.
So Ryan, what break down the game for me, son. Are we over
Oh,
here?
I know again. Get it up. Shove it up your arse. See it,
Right, so if you don't know already, Rangers came out 2-1 winners with 10 men versus Hearts. It was a feisty game. It had everything. Like I said in yesterday's fan recap, there was goals, there were hard challenges. We scored a goalkeeper. It was all there to be seen. Dev, what was your thoughts over on the game? Because we've not actually really spoke about it. We were too busy speaking about Dougie. And the fact
I never done a fan recap either. I had plans to do it, but I kind of fell asleep at 6 o'clock and woke up at 9 o'clock because I was just up. I was up all night, so yeah, pretty much. I thought that we played really well after we went behind. Up until we went behind, I thought we were playing like a mid-fucking league team. Do you know what I'm saying? I thought we were playing like Hibs, a relegation like battle team. But after the goal, we stepped up. Tavernier finally played a good cross. And I think that's why he continues to be on crosses and to be on free kicks, because every now and then he can just deliver something absolutely delicious. And he did. Morelos peeled off the defender, headed it into big Rolls Royce Goldson, slotted it in. Then we go 2-1 up from, let's be honest, an offside goal.
Beautiful finish, but it was offside.
Excellent finish. And also shout out to Morelos. I believe he is the first player to score in 7 consecutive SPFL matches.
No, he's equalled the record. He's equalled it.
That's what I say, CJ. You'll just need to watch the stream back, though.
Nah, that's we'll edit that. I'll clean that up for you, mate.
I edit that, mate. Edit that.
Who actually holds the record? Because I don't
There's
know
4 other people, I believe, and he's the 5th person to do it. I believe Chris Boyd. Fuck, who else is it?
He's going to make it 8 on Wednesday night against the Sheep.
That could be it, and that will be the record for the top flight. He is the most informed striker in the league. Ryan, there is a couple of things I want to ask you really quickly, but we need to break down one other incident in the game where Scotty Arfield was sent off. Now, me and Dev have very, very different views on this. Ryan, I'm interested. You probably have to be settling that out the discussion. But if you don't know, it was a sort of breakaway. Morelos has a shot. The goalkeeper's inside the net. He's reaching out. He's holding the ball up. Arfield goes for it to try and knock it in. And ends up getting a straight red card, not a second yellow to get sent off. He gets a straight red card, meaning he's missing the next 3 matches. So, Dev, what was your breakdown of the thought? And then I'll give you mine and we'll ask for one more.
Right, so when I watched it and when I keep watching it back, I feel as though when he committed for this ball, there was 5 fingers on the ball. And I was always told, if there's fucking 5 fingers on the ball, especially if it's on the goal line, go for it. If I was at that game, right, and I thought that Arfield had the chance to go for that ball and didn't, when we could have went up 3-1 at Tynecastle, I'd have went mental. And I think that the majority of fans would have went mental. He went for the ball, and going for the ball, that daft goalkeeper obviously got 10 fingers on the ball. And I feel as though after that, he did, when he obviously realised that, he tried to tuck his sail up a wee bit, and he's just went knee first into the guy. And then the goalie's rolling about, greeting, and then bounces up straight away. Also, in this day and age, probably a red.
Back in the day, though, it was never. That was a good goal.
Exactly. But a free kick, defo. You know what I mean? it would have been a free kick in any day and age, but I don't think it was a red card. And obviously, on the commentary as well, the BT Sport ref says it was a yellow.
Yeah,
he
should have been sent off for a second yellow.
There was no malicious intent. So, what was his first yellow? Because I can't remember it.
His first yellow card was, I think he stopped like a counter-attack or something like that. Was it no just did they no nail someone at a halfway line? I'm sure it was. It was a yellow.
I didn't remember him being on a yellow. So if it was going to be a yellow, obviously we'd have just missed the one match.
But it's the fact that the referee's claiming it was dangerous play. That is why you got a straight red rather than a second yellow. Because if it's dangerous play, like a 2-footy challenge, like a studs up challenge, it's a straight red card. That is what the referee is claiming. That's literally why he sent him off for a straight red card. And to be honest with you, I get it, but I just think Arfield, right? I know he's experienced. He just came for the Premier League. It's 2-1 up, massive game. He's on a yellow card. We're controlling the game, Dev. You know what I mean? They've not had a shot on target the entire second half. We're no looking worried. We've got all the ball. We're the one that's creating the chances. I just think that is when you need the experience. Maybe the adrenaline took him over, like someone said in the chat there. But such a vital game when you're on a yellow card, surely he's thinking to himself, "There's a good chance I'm at least this is going to be a foul." You know what I mean? It might
probably not.
Maybe that's what it should be then, though. We're topping the disciplinary charts as well, so we need to be smarter. And that put us under pressure when we never had to. You know what I mean?
On the day that we went top of the league, we went bottom of the league in the fair play.
Yeah, that's right.
It shows that we've got a wee bit of fight. I also feel though, right, psychologically, I know what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. I understand why it was a red and stuff like that. But I think psychologically, even though you're winning, see, once you start thinking, I'm not going to go in for this, I'm not going to go in for this, and I'm getting sick fed up of myself included, right? Every time Morelos goes in for something, I'm like, oh, stay away. They're going to send you off.
That's the way they want me to play, though.
Exact. No, not even that. Just I feel as though some refs have got it in for them. Know what I mean? And I don't think that a player, or we should be thinking when players are getting in for tackles, oh, don't go in for it because you're going to get sent off. Know what I mean? But I understand where you come from. Psychologically, I would want my players 0 to 90 to get stuck in. If there's an opportunity there and they think they can score, I want them to go for it. If they see a player run with the ball, blah, 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 I know what you're saying, but so that's just my thoughts on it.
So, see, even like that, just say it was a breakaway, right, for a corner, like, and they were attacking us, and Arfield was there, and one of the Hearts players was there. Would you want him to trip him up and do a professional foul and get a second yellow card and get sent off?
No, that's absolutely moronic. If he did that,
like
that's moronic.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, though, that you need to be smarter in these situations because he's on a yellow.
But that was a goal scoring opportunity, wasn't he?
He's got a hand on the. He's fucking got a paw on the ball. You know what I mean?
Exactly, but 5 fingers. I was always told 5 fingers, mate. You're getting in there. You know
but it wasn't as if he was this away from it. He was fucking. he done a Bruce Lee kick. He was like,
obviously, he must have it in his locker in training or something like that.
I know these inner Dougie Emery. I think that's what happened there. I think there's too much Dougie in him.
No, well, we're getting that mistake because if it was Dougie, they probably scored. So,
they probably booked the goalkeeper for handing the ball. But that's our sort of breakdown back and forth. Even though I've said that, I think he's got to be smarter. I think it's a second yellow card. Like, you book him. I didn't give him a straight red card. That's my thoughts on it anyway. I can understand the referee saying it's dangerous play, but it's a modern game now. You get fucking.
So, just to clarify, did the referee give him a second yellow or a straight red?
Straight red.
Straight
red.
Did you see the foul?
Yep, I've seen it.
Brilliant, man.
I was watching it in my pal showed me the phone, the Hampden. It was like Twitter.
You watched it in Hampden?
Fucking he's sitting there. The Celtic game's on, but he's like, right,
no, this was a good 40 minutes before kickoff.
You were in 40 minutes.
Ryan, Christie's just scored. Fuck off, Morel. Arthur's just been sent up.
I take it you want my opinion on it.
Do you think it was a straight red? Do you agree with the decision to go for it?
I definitely do. I think it's a straight red. I agree with Div on the fact that the whole thing about if it was 20 years ago or whatever, it would have been a goal. And that upsets me about modern football.
Smiling at that.
Exactly. That upsets me about football, but if we're going with how modern football currently goes and is, refereed, it's a straight red. There's no denying. He had so much time to correct what he was doing. He takes a proper sprint right in there. It looks kind of cynical, if you ask me.
I think he pulls his foot away, to be fair. I think it can really go in if he wants to.
I think it really looks really bad. And then Gerrard comes out and he says this whole 5-finger thing. Like, come on. Like, we're not actually.
The way that Gerrard was talking, I don't think that we will appeal it.
No, I won't. We'll need to wait and see.
I thought it was shot. I think it was a straight red.
You don't think it was a straight?
No, I think it was a straight red.
Oh, you think it was a straight? Right, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been a foul or anything like that 20 years ago. I just don't think it would have been a straight red. It might have been a second yellow. I just don't think it was a straight red. So,
that's going to be sort of the Arfield discussion. I just want to shout out Scott Young tips 199 in chat. He says Arfield would never go booked previously. I'm sure he was on a yellow because that's what they were talking about.
I never thought he was, man, because I went through it all with the commentary and that, and it says he wasn't. So,
are you sure?
Mate, I'm positive. I don't remember it. I thought there was a couple of bookings or something up until that, but I didn't think
he was booked. I must have been getting mixed up with something else. But I'm sure he got booked, and then Craig Levein was gone mental because he should have thought Morelos got booked as well. But
he says it was a miracle that Morelos stayed in the park.
I've also got some notes about that because we're going to speak about Craig Levein's comments with the referee, which is fantastic. Has any of you seen his rant? Has any seen it?
I haven't seen bits of it.
I don't think I'll be able to play it or anything like that. In fact, I'll not even play it just because I fucking worry about it getting taken down or that. But just like you can, Ryan, he just went in on the referee saying it was an absolute horrific performance from the referee, saying how Morelos wasn't booked. It's fucking versus 12 men. Again, that's what he said, against 12 men. And then the guy says, I know, I was trying to keep it clean. And he also said the linesman, the interviewer says, but what about the linesman? He never flagged either, so you can't blame the referee. He says, well, it's fair, again, 13 men then.
Hey, I've got some quotes here.
Yeah, please
I'll
go.
do it.
Can I address one of the questions for the chat first, just very briefly, very
Go
quickly?
for it. Very briefly.
The Curry Muncher asked if it was a Celtic player. Would I be saying that? Would I be saying that happy for Red? Were you going to ask that? I'll be 100%. I'll try and be as honest and non-biased as possible.
In the heat of the moment,
At the heat of the moment, in the moment, maybe I'd be like, "Oh, can we go never a red card?" And blah blah blah. But honestly, if I watched that back, I'd have the same opinion. I really do. I think it looks cynical. I just genuinely do think it. And if that was on Edouard or Ryan Christie, who went sliding in for a good 200 yards right into the goalkeeper.
Oh, don't tell me.
Fucking 200 yards.
He was only 6 yards, man. Come on.
He was past the 6 yard, but he was past that.
Aye, once he started flying towards him. Right, so Craig Levine, here's some stuff he says. Right, I've lost my voice from shouting at the referee. It was a terrible performance, it really was. How Morelos gets away with what he gets away with, I just don't understand. It was like, as Hibs manager Neil Lennon said, so he tried to quote him so he never get banned in it, after going to Celtic Park, playing against 12 men. How many fouls can Morelos give away without being booked? The one where he jumped into Berra off the ball, the referee said he's just a bit silly sometimes. What else did he say? That's what he told one of our players. Now jumping. Aye, and he basically says what you say is something fucking abysmal. I don't know if this is reported on that, but he said the F-bomb, right? It's just not acceptable.
Not from a former Scotland manager, you know what I mean? He's just, it was fantastic. It's so funny as well, because we're the one that went down to 10 men, you know what I mean? We're the one who's had more red cards than anybody, and yet he's trying to say the referees are on Rangers' favour. Like,
yep.
What? Is he having a laugh? Did he not just see what happened 3 days ago as well? What he's seen all week? How many goals have got incorrectly ruled offside? How many goals has been chopped? Morelos been sent off, booked for nothing. It's like, Craig Levine's a bitter dick, honestly. Needs to calm down, sit down. That's it, for my sake. I'm staying calm. Ryan,
what's your thoughts on Craig Levine?
My thoughts on Craig Levine?
Aye.
Get me started.
Come on,
get me started.
Don't get me started. Nah, generally just.
The Scottish Ryan, all right?
I know I'm Scottish. No, I'm
you
not.
Did Irish accent before?
Hey, you're fucking
done it like 10 seconds ago.
Oh, I must have a delay.
All right.
I know, but no, I just hate Craig Levine. Let's
just hate Craig. I was like,
oh. No, Craig Levine. No, I see whenever I think him, I just think of that only an excuse sketch. Where
I remember that. Was good.
Stephen Fletcher phones. I'm no win. we'll play the one man up front. I find that hilarious.
Right. Also, the one little thing I want to speak about as well is we've talked about the goal scorers and everything like that. Sharpdiv broke that down. Alan McGregor made a couple of good saves, but we need to speak about Alfredo Morelos because he's been in the news a lot this week because there's obviously, Ryan, I think you've seen a Celtic fan that just kind of embarrassed himself and talk sport, talking about Morelos and Edouard.
No.
Oh, man, you need to check this out, right? So they're talking about Morelos, he's topping the goal scoring charts, blah, 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 right? And then this Celtic fan comes up and he's like, aye, but who's he scoring against? He's like, same boys Edouard's scoring against. And he's like, no, Edouard's played for PSG. Who did Morelos come from? Some Finnish club. This guy just absolutely embarrasses himself, so vicious. So I just want to ask you, right now, who's the best striker in the league? Dev, we'll start with you.
Well, I think he's the best player in the league as well. It's Alfredo Morelos. The best outfield player, Alfredo Morelos.
There's no chance of getting him saying best player, but I'll go with best striker. I'm trying to convince him. So, Dev, you going with best player and striker, Morelos?
Yep, absolutely.
I think the stats show that the fact that he's equalled a Scottish Premiership record shows this season he's a different breed altogether. He's absolutely killing it. 7 games in a row. He will break the record against Aberdeen. He's got everything you need. So for me, he's the best striker in the league. Ryan, good luck.
I mean, whatever I say, you're just still going to listen to. Jack Aitchinson, that's what I'm going for.
Oh, shut up. Just give your opinion.
My opinion is, as much as you're going to hate me for it, Edouard. I just think Edouard is a better player. I just want to show you right now, Morelos tops the goal scoring charts with 9 goals and 3 assists in the league. Edouard's got 7 goals and 2 assists in the league. That's the same as Stephen Naismith. In fact, that's worse than Stephen Naismith because he's got more assists. And Naismith's been out for 5 weeks. See, this season,
also ratio gone about as well.
There has been points in this season where Edouard has not been up to much. I feel like there was a point where he looked as though See, that's the thing. I think if you're going in current form, Morelos is a better player. But I think if I was to have a football team,
there's
right,
a clip.
Current form, Morelos is probably playing better, yes. But if I was manager of a football team and I was told you can sign one of these two strikers, who are you taking? I'd be taking odds on Edward. I don't think Morelos is. He's good, but I mean, he's yet to score against Celtic. There's one thing for a start. We're going to have to.
He's only played him once this season, to be fair.
Yeah, but last season.
What does it matter? We're talking about this season.
Last season, I think his misses were absolutely inexcusable. But Morelos, we cannot kid on. He had some amount of chances, and this year with the form he's on, I feel as though he's got to score them. Let's not skate over the fact also that it's not just in current form. Since the start of fucking Premiership,
Bastard, you're going to steal it. Damn it!
Premiership season. Even since the start of the Premiership season last season, Morelos has been involved more than any other player. And goals. You're just lucky
that there's
bastard. That's what I had ready to say next.
You're just lucky. You're just lucky. You're lucky Dembele's still not here. I don't want to make a conversation.
Can I just say something really quickly? To answer that really quickly? See, this season so far, he's only 3 goals behind what Dembele did in 2 years at Celtic. So see, in the couple of months in the league, he's only 3 league goals behind what Dembele did in 2 years at Celtic, Ryan. So
yeah. Can I remind you, Dembele was injured for so long.
No, but it doesn't matter. You're talking about goals.
So
you want to look at his games. You know what I mean? You just said something there. I hit you back with facts.
Dembele was injured for probably.
Look at you. You're trying to look up at your side picture to your left-hand side there because you feel like he's watching you. Well, he must have set that on fire when he was ripping the piss out his Twitter. Right, there's one thing I want to break down as well. We've got to give Tavernier credit because Tavernier actually sits 1 goal less than Edward. He's a right back. And he's got 9 assists, which is just phenomenal. One of the best players on form this season as well. Captain Tavernier, frightening ratio in the league. So that's it. That's stats. That's facts. It's not opinions. It's facts.
None of them will ever be him. Bring them back.
You just kissed that. Did you just kiss that at night?
Samurai, sorry, before I got down.
I loved his missed penalty against Rangers. That was his best moment.
You know, I also loved when he when he took the ball in the so-called shaggle and embarrassed him. Embarrassed him at Ibrox.
I remember missing that and fluffing up the league. I remember that. Dude. Right, let's talk about the predictions and goal of the week, player of the week, all that cool stuff. It should be fun. Why is Umar Sadiq getting mentioned? Oh no, who actually knows? Right, let's talk about the player of the week. Ryan, we'll start off with you, son. Who's your goal of the week and who was your player of the week?
My goal of the week, I didn't think it was a fast selection of goals to go for this week. I was tempted to say the Gareth Macaulay own goal for a laugh, but
good finish to be fair.
But I'll just go with the third goal for Hamilton. Can't remember who scored it to be finesse. Keaton's. I'll go for that one.
Tidy goal. Right, Dev, we'll go you next.
I'm going to go with...
my player.
I thought better. We'll do the goal of the week first. That way I can get people's opinion as well. And then
right, that's fine.
Dev.
Jesus Christ. Right. I'm going to go Alfredo Morelos' goal. I thought that it was a magnificent finish. Can
we actually address that?
I'll let you talk, mate. Come on.
I forgot to bring this up when we spoke about Rangers.
Well, too bad.
Offside goal. Offside.
Unlucky.
Goal.
Can I just answer really quickly back to Ryan and just say, Joaquin Morelos has had 5 goals incorrectly ruled offside this season. Incorrectly. 5. Yeah, what goes around comes around.
So he's actually already ahead of your boy Dembele's. I thought it was a magnificent finish. Yes, it was offside, but it was given a goal, so boom, there you go.
Some finishes, right? I can't it was offside, but fucking finish, brilliant.
Yep.
So is that your goal?
Yep.
Right, myself, I don't know, I was trying to agree with you, Div, but you've kind of just stole my note again for the goal. I was basically just going to say the exact same thing. It's going to be
in your head.
In brackets, I say, I know it's offside, but the technique, the way he hits it, especially the fact that he had missed a volley a couple of minutes before to have the confidence to try it. Brilliant finish. That's going to be my goal of the week again. Especially the fact that it's coming from a set piece, like the way he has to hit it. I just think it's a brilliant goal, and it's not getting enough credit because it's offside. And it was, to be fair. I don't know why I've done that. But anyway, I'm that used to his goals being offside. Ryan, who's your player of the week?
Once again, there wasn't really any standout performers in my experience of watching football this week. So yeah, I'm going to go with the boy that scored a hat-trick for United.
Oh my God! He just keeps.
We Shanky!
He just keeps kicking himself in the head again, man. He scored 4.
4?
4.
Jeez, oh,
4
4 then.
He was mine as well.
To be honest, he's mine as well. That's why I wanted to talk about him, because we obviously love seeing Dundee United fail. It's fantastic. And the fact that they got shanked by a guy that scored 4 goals. And to be honest with you, see the other goal that they were scored? What a first touch for that goal. Like, gee, I can't remember who scored the other goal, but Shank, the thing that really impressed me, why he made the player of the week, I'll just read my notes. It wasn't the fact that he just scored 4 goals. It was his overall movement and every single one of the goals. The fake runs to the back post and then cutting into the front to get to a couple of headers. The guy's just a natural goal scorer. And yeah, he scored 4 goals. So fair play, man. Shanklin just continues to kill it every single game.
And he kind of single-handedly created this part of the show, because we don't talk about lower leagues as much. In fact, we don't at all. And he fucking created this through that performance. So
top notch.
I genuinely thought you suggested this because of the game.
It probably did, to be fair. You came with Divs like to be fucking. He's been choking on that.
I said Morelos was the best player in the league.
True. Because he's the best in the world. is that how it goes? Let's see what other people say. Let's see what somebody's goals was. Somebody just says Lee Wallace, which is always just fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. I can't see anyone that's talking about any goals. Just somebody talking about Shanklin to Scotland as he linked to Swansea. Let's see. Goulton's knee finish was the goal of the week. That comes from Andy F. And the last one comes from Kevin1888. Says Christie. Now, Christie, I think if he took the ball down and finished it first time, it'd have probably been one up there for goal of the week. But the fact that it rebounded off the goalkeeper probably takes something away from it. But that's going to be it. We're time for predictions now. Rapid fire. He's all ready for us.
Yep.
Next week as well, we should bloody calculate these predictions and give ourselves points for them, because we've not done that so far.
You just want to take a
perfect
result.
There's not many points to give,
exactly.
to be honest.
Yeah, it's very bad. But anyway, so get involved in the chat if you're watching along, and if you're watching this video after it goes live, put it down in the comments what you think, and we'll go back and we'll check them to see who gets them right. The first game could potentially be one of the surprise games of the week. It's going to be Kelly versus Livingston. Kelly's at home. Dev, who you got?
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Kelly in this one.
Wow. Ryan?
I'm going to go for 3-1 Kelly.
I'll go Kilmarnock 1, Livingston 0. All three are going for a Kelly win there. Sorry, Livingston. Just don't fancy it. So let's see what people's got to say. John Christie says an Armfield's goal. I think he's just catching up with the chat. Adam Oliver says 2-0 to Kelly. Mark Mitchell says 2-1 to Kelly. Stegosaurus says 2-1 to Kelly. Ryan Jack Loyal says 1-1. Mitchell Fulton says 3-1 to the Mighty Jers. And the last one we'll read out comes from Scotty99. He says 1-1. Right, moving on to the next game. We have St Johnstone versus Hearts. Ryan, we'll start off with you this time, mate.
That's actually quite a difficult one.
Yeah, Johnstone's playing well.
Aye, so do you know what? I'm actually going to go for a St Johnstone win, and I'm going to say 1-0 St Johnstone.
Jesus, Dev.
I'm gonna St Johnstone win as well. I think that they're going to beat Hearts with 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
I'll go a score draw.
Wait. Is it at home? Is it St Johnstone?
It's at the Park.
Right, 3-0. Yep, sticking to it.
I'll go 1 each. I know, cancel each other out. Score draw. Ryan Jack Loyal says 2-0 to St Johnstone. John Christie says 3-1 St Johnstone. Jack Smith says 2 each, mate. Jers 1872 says 2-1 to St Johnstone. Scotty99 says 1-0 Jambos. James Lewis. Shit, I just missed it. Nah, James. I've missed James. Sorry, son. I'll try and find it. I can't find it anymore. Barry Nielsen just says 1-0 to Hearts as well. Right, moving on to the next game. We have Motherwell versus Celtic. Right, I'll go first with this one, actually, because we're making fun around.
Right, on you go.
Can I just say, I know I got a lot of flack last week for saying Hearts and Celtic was going to draw 1 each at half time, full time, and go to penalties and Aberdeen to win. But listen, I was close. I said Christie goal for Aberdeen and a late Aberdeen equaliser. Very close. So with this game in mind, I'm going to say 2-0 Celtic. I can't.
Can you do it?
You're just leading up to it there. I thought you were going to say
I was really going to go big there, but no. If we're playing for points, we're playing for real. So, Dev, when you go, mate?
All right, okay, we're playing for real this time, man.
4-0 Motherwell.
Jesus. I think it'll be 3-1 to Celtic. 3-1 Celtic.
Ryan, 1-1-8.
I am going to go for a 2-0 Celtic win also. That's what I was thinking. I don't think it'll be too over the top. I don't think it'll be a butchering. There's a lot of people.
I think that
they always step up Motherwell against the bigger teams. So
yeah, they'll always play up the teams.
I'm seeing like 7-0s and 5-0s flow through, but Motherwell are a team who play very aggressively and they always bring it to Celtic, so I'm just going to stick 2-0.
And the fact that they will be hot after that, because this week's result versus Livingston was a shock. I know Livingston has been playing well, but they had won 5 in a row. They were playing well, so I think they'll come out, especially at home, and try and make a statement and just nail people. I expect the red card to be there as well. Andy F says Motherwell 8-0. Starting off strong. Well done, Andy. Lee Wren says 2-1 to Well. 1-1 comes from Andrew Mullen. John Christie says Well win. Nice. James Hunter says 3-1 Celtic. Hate to say it. Don't we all? Jamie98 says 3-1 Celtic as well. Right, moving on to the next game. We have Hibernian versus St Mirren. And it's Ryan's turn, sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
This is it's never never. It's crunch time. So I'm going to go for a Hibs win. And I'm going to say 3-1. No, 3-0.
Jesus Christ. It's a high score line. I think this game's going to be 0-0.
Bastard. Yeah,
I think it's going to continue the bad form.
I think they'll win 1-0.
The Hibs or St Mirren?
Hibs.
He's really playing for the points here.
I'm just looking at him, just like I watched St Mirren play. And they're just not good enough. I know Hodson's playing there and he's a superstar. But there's just so much the man can do at the back there, you know what I mean? And I think, because it's at home, they've been absolutely dog shit, and I mean dog shit. I think they'll get something like a penalty and that's how they'll win. Dodgy pen. Calling it right now for a bonus point. Bonus point. Dodgy pen. Jamie 1 says 4-0 St Mirren. James Lewis says St Mirren 0-0. Rugby B says 2-0 St Mirren. Lenny can ram it. Yes, he can. Gavin Cook says 1-1. Kevin 1888. No surprise here. Says 3-0 Hibs. Cameron Sweeney says 2-1 Hibs. And the last one we read out comes from Curry Muncher says 1-1 St Mirren and Hibs. Moving on to the next game will be Dundee versus Hamilton. That was almost a song there. I almost got banned. That was dangerous. I almost got the channel shut down there. The old default, the old section went there.
When I was writing down the fucking things like to write down the predictions and that, I was writing Dundee versus Hamilton. I was like, I hope he doesn't ask me to read that one. That's what I was thinking.
Tell you something, I nearly forgot where I was. Woo, that was close. Dundee versus Hamilton. Ryan, who you got? Div, we'll start with you, son. Fucking move on quickly. What was the score?
The score's going to be 2-0 to Hamilton. Dougie to obviously score.
Run the show. I'll go with 1 each. I believe Kenny Miller will score and Dougie Emery to score on the other side. 1 each.
Yeah.
The channel faves back at it. So I'll go 1 each. And Ryan, 1-1-8.
I gotta go 2 each.
2 each. Fuck me.
Think Dougie will score?
4 of them.
No, 4. No, this weekend. He's having the week off. Having the weekend off.
Never has a week.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday night.
Usually just has 1 weekend on. You know what I mean?
Basically, the problem is that just turns up and wins. He doesn't even train. He just comes.
He smokes 40 fags a day, you know.
Like, what's that? The Pie Boy? Mind that video I sent you? The cringe. Remember him singing and rapping? Oh yeah, I can.
Motherwell done one. Did you see it?
It was vicious.
It was brilliant.
I appreciate the banner, but also the same time it made my like balls crawl into my chest. It was like,
that guy got up about 3,000 followers. So
good play. Andrew Mullen says 1-0 Hamilton. Connor Coulter, says 3-1 Ackies. William McCormack says 0-0. I'm completely thrown off by everyone doing the lyrics. James Lewis says Hamilton 3-1. Asona says Hamilton 2-0.
I don't believe that.
Look at his face.
Andy.
Well done, Taker. Well done, son.
That's on Twitter.
And Jaden Binney says Dundee 2, Hamilton 1. And the last game will be Rangers versus Aberdeen, the old rivalry for back in the day. So we'll start with you, Ryan, as you look at your Twitter. Ryan, Aberdeen versus Rangers?
Where is it? Ibrox.
Ibrox.
Ibrox. Castle Grayskull. I'm gonna go for bias. I'm going to say Rangers win. I'm going to say 1-0.
Gosh, yeah. Put that with also the Mirrors as a better player, and you're transforming Ryan's career. Right, Dev?
I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers.
2-0?
Yep.
And me? Find out the day before, eh? Find out on Tuesday. See you tomorrow, lads. I'll give you then. And I'll keep you updated. I'll text you the results. Let's read out what the people's had to say, though. Adam Oliver says 2-0 to the Rangers. Gio says 3-0 Rangers against the Sheepshaggers. Dean Jameson says 3-1 Rangers. Rugby Beast 3-0 Rangers. Man, there's still a lot of 3-0, so I might actually steal that from our review. Adam Smith 3-0 to the Queen's 11. And the last 2 or 3 that we'll read out come from James Hunter says 3-0 Rangers again.
I'm going to go early, right? Dougie's at the door.
Okay,
all
right.
At the door. Right back.
Right.
They get the door.
They get the door. And the last one we'll read out comes from Lewis Humphreys. It says Rangers 2, Aberdeen 0. So that's basically going to be it. Div's just left.
I know. This is weird. Just that couch between us two. This is.
I know. It's like your wet dream.
I
forgot I was live. I did. See for a split second there. I did.
just forget.
Yeah, just edit that out, boys. Nathan needs to tweet that or clip it. Let's just leave that right there. Leave it right there. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this week's SPFL show. Thank you so much for watching. Div's obviously a way to answer the door. It's either Domino's or Emery. It's either one of the two. Here he's back.
How's
Dougie? Is it all right?
I've had to send him away.
Like most of the clubs he's played for. No. That's it. We're finished. The show's cancelled. It's done.
No, he's only 26.
That's going to be the end of the show, lads. I've had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for getting involved and watching. Div, where can they find you on the internet?
YouTube.com/sharpdiv. Uploading very soon.
Tonight. There we are. Plug in. And Ryan118, where can you tell them where to find you and they'll not go and look?
No, there's no point in me really telling us. It's never going to get the views. Ryan118 on YouTube and Ryan Stephen F on Twitter. And
what's your email address?
Why would I give away my email address?
Just for the reasons why it's named. But that's going to be the end of today's show. I've obviously been Sieging Over 92. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel as we're closing in on 23k. I believe we're like 50 away or something. So thank you so much for all the support. And yeah, that's been the end of this week's episode. Thanks so much for watching and bye.